got it. All right, hallelujah, we got it. Hello, Mobile, Alabama. Hello. My name is Stephen Satterfield. It may be the last time that you hear me talk about my first and last name on a night like tonight. Like many of you, I have been incredibly impacted by the story of the Clotilda of the Descendants, and it is an honor for me to be able to sit among you all here this evening and to amplify your story and your histories. So what I would like to do first and foremost is to ground us in this space. If we have any descendants who are with us, of course those on stage, but in audience, if we can honor you and identify you by just standing, please. All of the descendants in the building, please. We're here for you all, and it is an honor. So what I would like to do, I think we can begin by talking about what we've just seen and experienced. We have a very short amount of time. We have a lot of people who we all want to hear from. And so I think what would be best is if we could just sort of go down the line, because we only have a few minutes. And if I may just engage with each of you individually as part of this collective moment. Now, first of all, Brother Kamal, your work in this film is so clear and instrumental. It's so inspired. And what I would like to know, not only from you, but this actually goes for all of the descendants. This is your debut. This is a story that you all have grown up with, that has been an embodiment of your experience, right? And now you have invited us all in, and I wonder how that feels for you.
Yes, thank you, Stephen, for that question. It's absolutely incredible, but very humbling in a very profound way. This has been, when we previewed this film in New York, I said it was epic, but now it's astronomical, coming to this community and getting this kind of response. It's a very powerful experience, and to be able to work on this project over the last 4 years as a scuba diver. As I said in the film, I've dove on about 5 slave shipwrecks, quote, slave shipwrecks, and it brought about different sort of experiences each time. But one, it's centered on just this profound connection with the ancestral sort of connection. And that's extraordinary, even off the coast of South Africa, the same sort of experience. But I have to admit though, diving on the Clotilda was extraordinarily emotional and humbling. The conditions of the wreck, the environment is very treacherous, hazardous, even water moskins in the river. But I knew I was going to be diving this wreck, and so my dear friend Sabrina Johnson, who was out in the audience, we talked about it, had a conversation, and said, you're going to really, really connect with some profound ancestors here. So maybe before you go down there, we need to think about a prayer. And this is a short comment, a short prayer. So we composed this prayer. I'd like to just share with the audience just real quickly. This is the ancestral prayer for Clotilda first dive. Reviving the spirits who traveled on the Clotilda. Beloved ancestors, your voices have been quiet for 162 years, but your silence ends now. Your voices and memory are lifted from this wretched vessel through us, and we welcome you to speak through us. Our connections will never be broken. We are because of you. Thank you for reaching out to us. Blessings to your spirits always. So that's all I got.
Thank you for that. And Amir, since we're calling you Amir this evening, you have a very unique relationship to this story in that it's your story. So I'm curious for you, you've just come to Mobile for the first time today. I can't imagine what it must be like for you not only to see this film come to fruition, but to put feet on the ground and to be with your people, our people. Can you help us understand as best you can, if you can, how this feels for you right now?
I gotta be honest with you. There's a lot of conflict that I feel, because of course I feel completion. But then I think like, wow, just 1% of African Americans that can trace their ancestry. And, then I think about the fact of the circumstances that it took to bring me to this particular space that I am right now, all the circumstances that led to it, including a bet. I'm here because of a bet.
Come on now.
Name
it.
And so, but then I also think about the direction that my life has taken, and the fact that me finding about my history, and also just the direction of the pivot that my life has taken the last 2 years, and being able to just be instrumental in helping to bring the story forward and to show the world our history. It isn't lost on me, and I'm definitely a believer in the fact that yes, I believe through us, in an intercessory way, that the ancestors are indeed working through us as an instrument. So I'm just, I don't want to sound like a cliche, like, oh, I'm blessed and honored just to be an instrument in this moment, but I truly feel fulfilled in the fact that this is just a day-by-day thing. Like when I was 20 years old, I wasn't thinking like, one day the ancestors going to use me when I turn 51 and that. So every day is just a new adventure, if you will. So I'm more than elated. Like I'm just processing this. It'll hit me probably like next Thursday.
Exactly right. Yeah, and I'm struck by the use of the word vessel, right? It's like, it is the origin story. It also speaks to why we are here and why we are here, right? Okay, so Margaret, I want to give you some shine. This is the director. If anyone doesn't know, Margaret Brown is the director of Descendant. Congratulations to you, Margaret. You have a lot to be proud of. You are also from Mobile, Alabama. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. Obviously, you are not a descendant, but you facilitated this story. And I want to know how this feels for you. This moment feels for you.
I feel the same as Amir in certain ways. Like I feel sort of just to stand backstage with all y'all before this, after we shot for so many years, I'm just looking at all y'all like, oh my God, here we are. It feels powerful and wild. And I'm just grateful to be here, really. I don't know, the word vessel also feels appropriate for them sharing their stories with me. So I feel that too.
All right. We're all vessels. So, Joycelyn, Tressa, we love your energy and your spirit. You are the easiest protagonist ever to root for and follow in a film. But what does this moment mean for you? How are you feeling?
Elated. Pinch me, please. Right? Like, gosh, I'm like a mirror. It'll hit me Thursday because I still can't believe that we met President Obama. Right? I'm still tripping off of that, right? So it's just been amazing. All of us have grown up with this story. We've known about it. We've celebrated it, and we just kept pushing until you keep pushing until you can't push anymore. So now, hopefully, that this story is gone globally.
We're here now.
And
Please.
we want this to be a motion picture.
I want to give Major Joe Womack an opportunity to speak as well. Major Womack.
Thank you all for coming. Hopefully, like Jonathan said, it's a very minute. When I think back on the last few years, and especially the last 12 years, in my involvement, I think about the fact that Africa Town, now you know our story, you know what happened, and where we are now. Margaret did a fantastic job of showing that slavery that started in 1860 still exists today. And that is the real feature of this movie that made it different from other documentaries. But Africa Town is not really, especially in Mobile and other places, not any different than any other underserved black community of color in Mobile. The same thing that happening right now happens to the other communities, maybe in a different way. 20, 25, 30 years ago, Trinity Garden had the most open drainage in Mobile. It still has it today. So that's just one example. You can go down the bay and find problems with the environment and different things that have not happened because for some reason the finances have not gone that way. And we have kids and people that grew up in those areas. They don't see value in the area. They don't see value in themselves. They don't see value in you. They don't see value in the brothers and sisters. So they shoot them. You know value. The police do the various things to you because you don't matter. So they think you don't matter. So you think you don't matter. And so various things, derogatory things can happen. But in Africa Town, we've always fought and struggled, and we just continue to fight.
And these three here, I just want to say, Ms. Vita and Emmett and Dr. Kern, I had the great pleasure of spending the day having the lunch also with Amir and Margaret and the participant team at Vita's mom's house. And I haven't been the same since, y'all. I was so turned out today because I got to sit with Ms. V and I'm going through the albums. I'm in her house and the smell, everything about the house, the albums, including the people that we're looking like, I'm like, I've been here before. I had that experience with y'all today. So pardon me, but these my people now. We had an amazing day together. So I'm gonna just let y'all cook for a little bit. Talk to us. How are y'all feeling? This is your moment, and especially Brother Emmett. Y'all pay attention. Pay attention to the silhouette.
Let me see, is it on? Is it on? Well, how y'all doing? Alright, for one, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Y'all look at my picture. But honestly, like, I hear a lot of people talk all the time. I mean, I've been hearing it my whole life. A lot of people ask about the story. A lot of people think they want to hear the story, but I mean, to understand this story, if you still watch this movie and didn't catch the concept of it, this is our version of Roots. This is our Roots. This is what happened to us. This is not nothing that we have to see on the TV and just imagine something fake that they put together to make you feel something that we went through. Like, I've lived with this burden for only 32 years, but I can only imagine how it feels to live with it for 80 or to live with it for 109. All right, this is one, it's a proud moment, but it's also scary. It's scary because even as a young man, I do know the history of my people. And I'm not talking about the Catilda now, I'm talking about the history of everybody that's out here in this audience, which means that once y'all walk out of here, do you not care anymore? Once you leave here and you lay in your bed that you have been made comfortable in and felt like that you don't have to lend your voice to anyone, how would you feel? How would you feel if it was your story? How would you feel if it was something directly tying you into it? I don't mean to take up too much time, but I was fortunate, I was blessed for my father to leave me at an early age for me to grow up. I had my father for 17 years. I sat out in that audience right now and cried just to hear myself talk about it. That was my best friend for 17 years. I hurt right now because I feel like that should be his picture up there. I feel like that he should be telling the story. This is not my story to tell. I was supposed to make the future better. But with all that being said, every night that I go to sleep, I talk. I talk in my sleep. I slob in my sleep. Honestly, like, people ask me all the time, they say, you so young, you don't even look like somebody that would care about this. Like, I mean, thank you for telling me my hair can grow, but I care. I care more than anything in this world besides my kids. I care. It's one of the only things that I have left that reminds me of my father. And for me, it's not just, hey, let me go talk to somebody and let me try to make them see me. Let me put my name on it. Let them look at me and give me some money. Like, no amount of money that you give me can even amount to the pain that my people felt. The only way that you can get a true, the only way that you can get a true reparation from this is, in my opinion, let us get our own continent. Let us take your people from their land. Let us bring them to a new land where they don't know nothing. Let us drop them off on an island and make them wait. And after they get through waiting, make them work for you. Make them build the city that you want. And then tell them, go hide out and don't say nothing. Like, that's the only way that this would be fair. And then once they hide out and they survive, if they survive, because I know my people strong, we survive. So if they survive, and you get your 100 years or 150 years that pass by, then you get one of your descendants to get up here and talk, and they tell you how it feels. Because even though I wasn't born back then, wasn't even thought about, I lived with this pain my whole life. I watched my best friend talk about it my whole life. My whole life. My dad was a Vietnam vet, prisoner of war, and he loved this story more than any of that. I was a Marine, Operation Enduring Freedom. I went to Afghanistan, and I know everybody that know anything about the Marine Corps, the first thing they teach you is pride. No amount of pride that I had for the Marine Corps could amount to this.
Wait, can I say something? All right. Emmett, I want you to remember this moment. I had a talk with him earlier at lunch today, and I know that feeling when you're on the precipice of knowing what your true calling is. And you know, this is me as I'm a very reluctant leader. I mean, I've been leading for 30 years and I'm still a reluctant leader. And even now, like I don't, like my mom, my sister, they never heard me talk like this ever. But, you know, a lot of the times, like I'm in my head and I'll talk myself out of things. But this has been like, for me at least, the last 2 years of just stepping out on faith and living in my truth. And I see that a lot. Even as you just spoke, you're a natural born leader. So I want you, as a community, as a city, to embrace this brother and embrace the sister too. Yes, and embrace your new leaders. And you know, I want you, especially you two, to absorb this moment and realize that this is your pivot. And you know, I fully expect to be voting you guys for presidency. That's how much I believe in you.
I don't even know that there's much to say after that. I mean, I have so many conflicting emotions. Right now, I am so proud of this whole team, and it's so great to be on the stage with all these people. We haven't all been together before on the stage, but to be together right now, our families didn't come over here. Our families are not all related, but we have become family through this whole experience. And I am so in awe of this young man right here. This is one of the youngest elders I have ever seen. This is a wise, powerful young man. I agree with Amir, and I look forward to great things for him, for Joycelyn, for all of us. But the main thing is that there is some levity in the film where there were a couple of moments that are chuckle-worthy, but I just hope this film is a catalyst for change, that there is a lot to be done right now. Like Emmett said, don't leave here and go home and just think it's all over and you've been entertained. There's a lot to do. And just join up with these groups and get busy. I mean, they're boots on the ground. I'm boots on the ground with them now. Just let's get busy.
Well, they said just teach Jackson. All right, so this project is an example of how democracy can work. It's an example of the power of story. We have students in this audience, and students, y'all have work to do. This is a template. You have descendantfilm.com where you can activate your advocacy and just follow what the artists and the storytellers have done. You know, the elders in the community gave us a charge. We're doing our best, and we fully expect you to do yours, to get trained and to execute it. It's like a man said about being buoyant and breathing. And that's what we hope this film does, continue a conversation, make room for other artists to have an opportunity so that they can sit on this stage.